guys, so today we got 2 questions for this video, and they came right back to back with each other to my email and to my Instagram. One is from an 8-year black belt, so very experienced jiu-jitsu practitioner. The other one is from a brand spanking new white belt, fresh white belt, 2 weeks in white belt. So the first one comes from a guy named Ben, and Ben runs a gym, and he was curious about my take on how to get new people to relax. He says he has a lot of guys come into this gym who are just very like tense and muscular tense, and they're wild when they roll. And so his question was, how do you get new students to relax? That is, remove the tension from their whole body so they don't feel like they're going to die every second. Of course, breathing is key, but getting them to relax and flow a little bit is harder than, rather than being a rock isn't easy. And he says he tries to explain it in different ways, but it doesn't seem to connect. Now that was his question. Now, very similarly, got a question from a guy named Tony. Tony's 2 weeks into jiu-jitsu. He was rolling the other day, doing a roll in a position he's never seen before, and he has some blue belt who's on top of him trying to get the submission, and all of a sudden he said he's just reacting to it, doing stuff, and somehow he ends up kicking the woman. Ends up kicking her. She kind of gives him a firm talking to. The coach does as well, but then the coach also lets him know, hey, listen, it's normal. It happens sometimes in the beginning, but hey, try to chill out a little bit, that kind of thing. And so he's wondering, how do I chill out? How do I relax? And what can I do to make sure I don't kick people anymore? Because I didn't mean to do it. I didn't even know I was kicking her, and it was just happening because I was just doing stuff in a weird position I've never been in. So let's jump into this today. So thank you guys first for the questions, and I'll give you some things to chew on for the video. But so we'll go to Ben's part first. Ben, you were talking about removing tension from the body, right? Think about where that comes from. I relate with these questions that you're asking and what Tony's asking, because for me, a little disclaimer here before I get into this. For the people that are in the UK, listen, I'm going to use the word spaz. The word spaz that we use in the United States is way different than the way that you guys use it over there. So don't get upset with me and start typing how angry you are. When we say the word spaz here, we mean like the guy that's rolling with elbows and stuff like that, like a Tasmanian devil. That's what we mean by spaz, okay? So just disclaimer, end. So when I was new in jiu-jitsu, I was a spaz. I was the wild guy that would pop people in the mouth with an elbow on accident. I never did it intentionally. I was just wild. It happened for a couple reasons. One was because I was nervous. I didn't want to lose. I hated losing so bad that I was so nervous to lose that it would make me really wild in certain situations. Number 2, I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I wrestled, sure, and I knew some jiu-jitsu stuff that I watched in tapes or whatever, sure, but from day one, I was thrown to full rolling. So the first day I came in, I remember the moves I learned. I learned a couple submissions from side control. Fantastic. And then they threw me into rolling, and I'm rolling full speed with people, getting weird positions that I have no clue of what to do. And so I go on instinct, and sometimes that instinct ends up being an elbow to the mouth that I didn't mean to because I'm twisting out of a position the wrong way, and the person is not expecting it. So that's what was going on. And a lot of times this still goes on in gyms today. People take these brand new people and they take them into the class like, hey bro, what's going on, man? Nice to meet you. And then they take them and they show the moves. Hey, here's how to do a scissor sweep. Really good, man. Here's how to do a mount escape. Okay, you ready? Let's do a full roll from the feet. Slap hands. This guy who's nervous about coming into the gym to even do the class, nervous about trying your gym out, nervous about getting on the mats, and then they're learning this move, and then all of a sudden they're full rolling. And I don't know that you're doing this, Ben, but you see this a lot. Full rolling on the first day. They have no clue what's going on. Like, they're just being thrown to the wolves, and we expect them to somehow know what's going on. It's like you took a person that's never played basketball before. You show them how to do some free throws. Hey, good job, man. You got a free throw shot. Great. All right, let's play a pickup game right now. Here. Hey, why aren't you dribbling the right way? No, you can't do that. You can't. That's traveling. No, that's a foul. You can't grab the ball that way out of my hands. Like, they wouldn't know what to do. They don't know the rules. And so we get these new people that come into the gym, and we throw them to the meat grinder, and somehow we expect them to magically know how to do it. It's ridiculous. As a coach, I remember having a student come into me. This is where my thought process with this came. I had a student come into me one day, trained, and he popped me in the mouth, right? My instinct was to get angry at him. Like, don't do that. Like, you're not supposed to elbow me. Stop being a spaz. But then I thought about me. Why was I spazzy? Because I was wild. And so I changed a few things the way that we deal with beginners, and I'm going to give you a couple ideas, Ben. So first things first. I don't let brand new people roll full on rolling, whatever. They situationally roll. So, for instance, let's say I showed a student scissor sweeps, maybe that kind of thing, right? Some basic sweeps from the guard. When it comes time to roll, he's going to roll from the guard. They are not going to get out of that position. If they sweep someone, back to the guard. If the person passes their guard, back to the guard. That's it. I'm not going to let them stray from that position for a couple of reasons. One, I don't want them to get hurt. I don't want them to zig when they should zag or post their hand out in the wrong place. I've seen that happen too many times. I also don't want the person to injure anyone else because, again, where a lot of times does the craziness come from, the spazziness come from? Well, one of the places is they have no experience with it. But if I say, hey, listen, here's something you can do from this position, they at least have some idea to anchor onto to work with rather than being completely like just in open territory with no idea of what to do. So I only let people situational roll in the beginning to try to limit the amount of stuff that's coming in at them so they can just focus on what they learned that day. It's been very helpful, by the way. And we build these people up slowly. There's a system to it. We build people up slowly so this way then we can get them into the full rolls later on. And we can do this so by working them up through the situational stuff and then we put them into the full rolls, they're less likely to get injured. They have a better idea of what's going on. Less injuries for everyone. It's a pretty good thing, right? Now, the other side to it is, or the other thing that you can maybe think about doing is you can put people into situations where they're forced to lose. So this is something that it helped me. I did it to myself later on when I was injured. Completely different story. I don't want to make this video too long, but basically I put myself into a situation once where I had injured my leg and I could not do full-on jiu-jitsu. So what I did was I would literally just ball up and try to not get submitted. It was my way of staying on the mat and kind of working around my injury. Now, because I knew that I was going to get submitted, I was more relaxed than I normally was. I wasn't so spazzy, and I got submitted a bunch, but I got better at survival. But I remember when I came back from this, the idea of being submitted was normalized, and it sort of got rid of this nervousness about being submitted. It was just like, whatever it happens, it happens. And it made my ability to train better because I wasn't so nervous or worried about losing. It just became normal. So I turned that into a drill. Here's an example of the way this works. A lot of people with leg locks is a great example, not just with white belts, but just a lot of people. People freak out about leg locks. They're scared of them because they're afraid their knee's going to get busted. Well, one of the things that happens on my Foot Locker Friday classes is we will play with leg locks. That's all we're doing. And I've got people that are 50 years old, playing leg locks with us, and they have no problems with their knees. They're fine. But what we'll do is I'll put them into a situation where they're going to get submitted. So, for instance, I'll put the person into, let's say the honey hole or senkaku, whatever you want to call it, the leg triangle, right? Start in that position, and then I'll say, okay, person who's in the offensive position is going to try to get the submission. And then the person who's in the defensive position is simply going to try to defend. They're not going to escape. They're going to sit there and just try to defend. Now, because of that, that means they're going to get it submitted probably at some point. They're probably not going to be able to ward off the submission forever. What happens is then later on when we start from the position, we start doing escapes and adding escapes and submissions into the mix of it, people are a little bit more relaxed because they get submitted by the leg lock and they realize, oh, my knee's not destroyed. Oh, cool. I felt the pressure. I recognized it and I was able to tap and they didn't just destroy my leg. Great. This is much better, right? And they don't freak out about it. And you can do the same thing with like side control or other submissions and things like that where you can put people in the bottom of mount. And you can say, bottom person, you don't get to escape. You're going to just try to defend. Top person, try to submit them. Now, the bottom person is going to get better with the defense, but they're probably going to get submitted at some point. But because it's expected of them, it normalizes it. Takes away the sting from it, so to speak. And then when you're doing the full rolling later on in the class or allowing both people to escape and submit whatever it is that you're doing, then it allows them to say, oh, it's not that big of a deal. I already got submitted 3 times a day. So it kind of wasn't like, it's not a big deal. It becomes very normal. And so those are 2 things that I've done that have helped with getting people to relax. And again, everybody comes into your gym in a different place. Some people come in way more muscularly, it sounds weird to me right now, muscularly tense like me when I started. And then there's other people that come in and they're just super chill. You never know. But do those things and see if that helps. And obviously you can play more chill music to help out. You can obviously work with their breathing techniques, all that stuff. But those are 2 things that have really helped out with getting rid of some of that spazziness. Now, Tony, to your situation where you don't have control of your training, here's what I would say to do. When someone gets angry at you for being the spazzy white belt, like in that situation where you're kicking them, because you had no idea of what you were supposed to do, say, listen, hey, I'm sorry. Show me what to do. I didn't mean to kick you. I just didn't know what to do. Can you show me something? Ask him for advice. You know, so again, if they get mad at you because of your inexperience, just ask them for some help. Say, hey, can you show me what to do? Because that's what we're supposed to do. Like when we have new people come in, if they come in and they don't know what to do, we want them to ask. Hey, ask the higher belt for just a couple tips. Maybe they can show you where to put your hands, something like that. And if you ever roll with a white belt that's a little bit spazzy, resist the urge to like want to like point the finger at them and tell them how terrible they are. They probably don't even know what the heck they're doing sometimes. Give them some direction, give them some guidance, help them out a little bit if you're a little bit more experienced than them. So that's the idea. So hopefully that's useful to some of you guys in some way, shape, or form. Ben, hopefully that's useful to your classes. And Tony, good luck with your start in jiu-jitsu. Hopefully you'll do less kicking to people. And I'll talk to you guys next time.